Well, well, well.
Well, happy hump day.
We're jumping up real quick, Joe. Two pops.
Joe Two Pops already hitting it. All right. Yay. Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you, Joe.
Hello, everybody.
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Huzzah.
Let's
Anyway,
get
Do it.
what happened?
spooky.
Let's get
Everybody just stopped. I mean, normally we barrel all over each other starting out a show. Okay, today everybody looked at each other and go, "Huh? What?
Well,
What?"
I was in the middle of sharing the show out, so
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I did that one earlier. So
Well, and Donnie didn't say nothing.
Well, right before the show started, Tex gave me this mission, and now I got to do it. I got a
There you
mission,
go.
folks.
No.
I'm on a mission.
stop interfering with the show.
Exactly.
always.
I'm kind of.
Bobby, where you at?
Don't worry, guys. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Oh, now I'm scared. I'm really
Yeah, I
really
was
scared.
the other night when all hell broke loose up over in Parker County. I was checking on you and Margaret and Bobby and my sister, and I had a laundry list of people, man. I'm like, because every one
It
of
was
them was
interesting,
kind of in
though.
the path, all this kind of stuff going on up there, all these tornadoes and stuff, you know. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
And guess what? The next
and then-
day. Guess who got it the next day?
yeah. And not only that, the same time it was hitting down here in Texas, it was tearing apart Ada, Oklahoma, up there around where Pops lives. So I'm like trying to keep tabs on everybody.
I know. It just seems like you guys get it first. I get it second. Quit sending it my way.
Well,
Just
we
saying.
like to share the
no.
wealth, and we don't want to be
Exactly.
stingy.
We get it. You get it. We get it. You get it.
I do.
That's how Texans blow a kiss.
Ooh.
Hey, Tex,
That's
real
enough.
quick. Did you want a male singer or a female singer?
Male.
Okay.
Male.
Oh
Male.
Lord. You guys, they're writing a song, just to let you know. They're writing a song.
Oh,
That's what it's all about.
That being
And-
said, though, we have another
That being
song.
said, yes,
We do
Mr.
have
Donnie
another
Show.
yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Donnie Show has written a song. We will play that later on in the show. So make sure you stay tuned because it's
Oh, no. I'm
it's
talking
good.
about the old song and dance that we got to talk about every single time.
Oh, that
know,
song and dance.
That
Oh.
song and dance. Okay.
Goodness gracious. It's the Crossing Realms Conference, September 19th and 20th of this year at the Richmond Civic Center. That is in Richmond, not Virginia, people, not Virginia, Missouri, Richmond, Missouri. We have a lot of guest speakers, a lot of special guests that are showing up. We have a great meet and greet Friday night with speakers, a documentary debut. We've got we've got popcorn, we've got soda, folks. We got it all. So if you're looking for a vendor spot, we have those available too. And I can't forget, Saturday night, we also have a psychic gallery with Mary Lynn Bast that is still available. All of the Misfit toys will be in attendance. So go to Crossing Realms Conference on Eventbrite. You can look up all the information you need, including vendor spots, and it'll have all your stuff there. Just to let you know that the speaker presentation does have a cap on tickets being sold for that. So make sure you don't wait to the last minute, but they're there and available now.
Rock on. And now bills are paid. There we go.
And you get to
All
see us
labors,
there.
all done.
So that's the main draw. You get to
I
see
know
us in the flesh.
that's us. Yeah.
And according to that, our very special guest, Donnie Cho, will be there as well.
Yes.
Yes.
He can't be with the rest of us on the bottom of this thing. No, he's got to be.
But-
I've
Donnie,
yes.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Since the Pope Francis died, right?
Mhm.
You being a Pope yourself,
Yes.
do y'all have you got an official invite to go to, whatever
Yeah.
kind of secret thing? I mean, are you gonna, because because I might have some pull here, because the interim Pope that is in charge right now
Mhm.
is from Dallas.
Is he really?
He is.
Carmelingo is.
Oh. Is he a fan of
So-
Dogman though?
Well,
I don't know how
I-
the Catholics feel about Dogman, because I'm the Pope at the Church of Dogman. At our church, we do worship and give praise to our Lord and Savior Dogman.
See, you got to remember the Scottish saint that was a dog-headed guy.
Yeah.
So hey, wrong show, Brandi.
I'm ready. I am ready.
Yeah.
I'm about. Hang on. Wait. Time out. Yeah.
Come worship Dogman with me, folks, on my show. Donnie Cho Says Stuff.
This is what I got to say about you, Dogman. All right. I still haven't got to where it can go down over the stuff yet, but I get it. Look, I got a hook. I got a hook now.
Randy's more of a Bigfoot guy than a Dogman guy. You know how everyone in this scene is either a Bigfoot guy or a Dogman guy? You favor one or the other more?
I'm a ghost guy.
You're a ghost guy?
I haven't seen Bigfoot yet.
Which one do you think I favor, Donnie?
I'd say probably Dogman, only because you've had more direct Dogman experiences. Or at least the first one was a more direct Dogman experience. Are you more of a Dogman guy or a Bigfoot guy?
Well,
if you had to choose one.
I guess you could say.
He looks like a Bigfoot, though.
I do.
Yeah.
I have more of the Yeti thing going.
Although I do. I would say he's had a brown shorts kind of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Brandy's more of a Bigfoot gal. Brandy's a Bigfoot gal. Yeah.
She's originally a ghost gal.
Ooh, I'm a ghost gal. Yeah.
I'm a ghost gal too. I'm not.
I've seen you in full blown action on that one. So.
Yeah.
Right. If it's paranormal, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
But I do have I'm over. You know what? Y'all know me. I'm a Bumble guy, right?
Bumbles bounce.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. And I just happened to have a picture of me and my Bumble.
You look like a Bumble. Now that I think about it, yes, he favors a Bumble. That's what it is.
Yeah. So there you go.
There it is.
Bumble.
There it is.
We got to have this fixed now, right there. That looks more like Sully out of the daggum
Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. more than it does the Bumble. Come on now.
Well, it's got a kind of a Wendigo vibe too to it. I would say.
Well, it's it's got the Texas Longhorns on it.
Yeah.
So it's a Texan Bumble, is what it is. So.
The Texan Bumble.
That is
what here first, people. It's the new.
What it is. That is my emotional support Bumble. Is what that is.
Well,
somebody take the trigger away from him, please. Take the trigger away from him.
Well, that's what I say. You've seen it here first. The new cryptid, the Texan Bumble. There it is.
Well, let's see if I get the Ron White thing right. Things that make you go.
JD Smooth says, which one is Tex?
Yeah, exactly. The one without the blue face. Oh wait, never mind.
I'm the one laying in the blue bonnets.
Do not make me dig that one out. I will do it. You know I have it.
All right. Well, before we start all that business, let's get to the business at hand and what the show's all about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because Brandi and I were talking and we were discussing, content and things like that. And I'm like, what about some haunted highways? I mean, how many haunted highways have you heard about? I've heard about a bunch.
There's about 20 in the States alone that have some sort of little, some are lesser than others, but have some sort of paranormal activity, quote unquote, on them.
Right. And even when we talk about like the spook lights or the mysterious train lights coming down or all kinds of stuff, there are so many stories out there. I thought we'd cover a couple tonight because they're weird. I'm sorry, they're weird. I mean, I've experienced something on the side of the road, going down a road very, very early in the morning. And it caught me by surprise. And there's lots of stories talking about, I believe, Randy, we talked about this one. If you want to jump to this one, talks about the Skyway Bridge. Did you find out about that one?
You know what? I never found anything about the Skyway Bridge itself because the only blurbs I could find were these little bitty write-ups about it. I never got anything substantial on it. So that's one I was going to do on a separate one where we'd go in depth on it alone.
Okay.
But the ones I found today, I got Clinton Road out of West Milford, New Jersey. The original Route 666 that runs from Arizona up through Utah has been renamed to Route 490, US Route 491 since then.
Oh,
There's tons of stuff on that one. And the one I went down the rabbit hole the most that I did not expect I would was Resurrection Cemetery Road out of Chicago, where it is Legend of Resurrection Mary. That
okay.
one.
Let's start with that one. Let's start with that one because I always found this to be a very good story.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you were going to pull this one, and I've actually got notes on her. So you go ahead, tell us this story.
I mean, this is one of those. I literally, when I started digging, it said Resurrection Cemetery Road. I was like, I knew about Resurrection Cemetery, but I started digging into it, and it goes from the actual ballroom. It goes, let's see, it goes from the various graveyards and such all along from Resurrection Cemetery through the St. James Sag Church, and it also encompasses the O. Henry Ballroom. It encompasses there's another the Willowbrook Ballroom in that area, and all these areas that has some sort of sighting with Mary. It's the phenomenon known as the vanishing hitchhikers. Okay. So when I started digging into this, I was like, okay, well, Mary is supposed to be this ghost of a teen girl who opted to go out late one night, was killed in a hit and run. Driver never found. Mary's parents found her and they buried her in Resurrection Cemetery wearing the same dress she wore the night of the ball. Well, what ball? It never told me that, but there's other parts of it. So she spent the evening dancing with a boyfriend at the O. Henry Ballroom, it turns out. Some point, they got into an argument. She stormed out, left the ballroom, and started walking up Archer Avenue. Archer Avenue is essentially Resurrection Cemetery Road. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When I started digging into it, all of a sudden I had stuff coming at me from every avenue about this girl and different things that had happened. The legend is that she's still looking for her killer, who did not stop after her hit and run. She hadn't gone very far, from the actual ballroom, but she starts the hitchhiking thing, and she gets in the car that people are taking her for a ride. When they're passing the cemetery, she disappears, or they let her out of the cemetery and she walks up and disappears into the gates. There's even a rumor and a sighting that she actually burned her handprints into the gates of the cemetery.
Oh. Now, is she buried in that cemetery?
According to lore, yes, she is. Now, I looked up. I'm looking up. There is a thing on here that says they actually tried. Some researchers have attempted to link her to one of the burials in the cemetery, and it looks like there was a Mary Bregovy who died in 1934. Although her death is supposed to came in an automobile accident on the downtown Chicago Loop. In 1999, another author documented a possible connection to an Anna Marija Norcus, Marija, who died in 1927, auto accident while on her way home from the O. Henry Ballroom. Okay, now that theory is what's been gaining the popularity over the last several years. So I could see either one of them. The only problem is with the Mary Bregovy, the one from 1934. Obviously, dying on the Chicago Loop is not dying there on the actual Archer Avenue like they want it to be. Okay, right. So now we're talking about a girl. Time frame fits 1927 auto accident while on her way home from the O. Henry Ballroom. Fits the legend. Once again, we talked before. Legend, there's usually a kernel of truth in every legend for the most part. So now, what do we look at? Well, I mean, this guy that picked her up now, January 1979. This guy, Bill Geist, actually detailed he's a cab driver, picked up a young woman, a quote unquote, a looker, a blonde, a young woman, was young enough to be his daughter, 21 tops. Okay. A couple of miles up Archer there. She jumped with the start like a horse and said, here. I hit the brakes. I looked around and didn't see no kind of house. Where? And she said, then she sticks her arm out, points across the road, says there, and that's what happened. Look to the left, look to the right, boom, she was gone. Vanished. The car door never opened. And he's like, I don't know what I just saw. And this is 1979. So you got sightings from 76, 78, 80, 89, 73. You've got another one where she was said to have shown up at Harlow's nightclub in Chicago, southwest side. The same year, cab driver took Chet's Melody came into Chet's Melody Lounge there across the street from the cemetery to inquire about the young lady who had left without paying her fare. They said there was nobody that came into the area. So she left him out there and disappeared. Now, did he get stuck with a fare? Who knows? But nobody saw her go in other than him.
You know, that story, the whole disappearing hitchhiker thing, we've heard this before.
Yes.
It ties in a lot of the Lady of the Lake stories. Yeah. You know, they pick up a girl that's on the bridge, and she gets in the seat. They turn around, she's gone, but the seat's wet because she was drenching wet when they picked her up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
she just disappears.
The paranormal trope, as I would call it, of the disappearing hitchhiker that appears in multiple cultures. Like even Korea's got their own version of it.
Right.
Yeah. Resurrection Mary is probably the most famous version of that because it's got the most people who've purportedly have had like sightings and experiences, like direct experiencers, because it's in a major part of Chicago. There's like a lot of traffic that goes through there, you know. It's not like a lonely country road, right? This is like right outside. This is like suburbs of Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, the more I kept reading into it, you know, they're talking about, you know, number one, she got buried supposedly in the same dress and shoes she wore the night she was killed. Okay. That always kind of lends me a little bit of but you know, if we're talking 1927, 1934, yeah, they'll want to probably bury her as fast as they get her buried anyway. But still, the more I sit there and think about it, I'm like, what in the world, you know, honestly would make you want to bury your child in the same garments that they passed away in a few days before?
Well, that may have been her, you know, I mean,
yeah,
we don't know how special that dress was to her.
Well, but supposedly she was involved in a hit and run. You would think you'd have some sort of blood stains and such like that on it too.
Well, okay, so I've got kind of an answer to that one.
Okay,
you know, maybe it's the point of her last moment of consciousness that she remembers this particular dress and these particular shoes, because after she was hit, she probably didn't live or see herself or anything like that. So when she manifests, she's manifesting what she last had on, what she remembers.
Yes.
So, I mean, that could possibly be, you know, but there are other things such as what Tex is saying, other stories that I've heard about other spirits wearing their favorite dress or anything like that. We've heard stories about that, you know, or stuff like this, but this may be her last moment since it was so tragic and so quick. It may be just her last moment of memory that she's bringing back when she manifests.
Yeah, but Randy's saying that her family buried her buried her in that dress.
That's what the rumors were saying.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. That's just me. I would not do that for my child.
I don't know anyone who would do that.
JD Smooth has a good point. Most funerals were done at home at that point in time.
Yeah, 23 to 27. Let's just say between 27 and 34, which is the rumored time frame this happened.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. That's what I was saying. I mean, maybe they were at a point and they were at a certain level of affluence, or whatever you want to call it. They weren't wealthy enough to have her sit and lie in state for more than a couple of days type thing. They needed to get everything done with the coroner, with the police and all the stuff, and get her buried before she started really decaying.
That may be true, and that part may be true. Especially if they weren't showing her remains or anything like that. And because of the accident, it may not have been possible. Depending on the extent of her injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it could have been a quick burial. You're right. It could have been a quick burial. Mm-hmm.
Well, and Sharon brings up a great point. Maybe they couldn't. That's the best dress she had. Maybe they couldn't afford another dress, and if they just patched. I mean, just because she was killed doesn't mean that she was tore completely up. It could have just simply broken the neck or been head trauma. So, a couple of rips, maybe some road rash on the dress or something like that. Didn't have to be blood.
Yeah, so, and 37 and
enough, and it was maybe that was the most expensive thing she owned, or
I mean, between 27 and 34, that time frame too. I mean, it wasn't like they were going breakneck speeds either. They were going pretty good clip, but they weren't driving 55, 60 miles an hour.
Right.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much. I mean, that was breakneck speed back then.
Yeah,
that was. My uncle owned the first motorcycle in the town up in Texarkana. Mm-hmm. And I think the top speed was and it was fast. It was like 27 miles an hour.
Yeah,
something like that. There's a picture of him riding it. It's the straight handlebars that come up. Looks like a bicycle with a motor on it. That's all it is.
Well, and there was another one here where I talked a minute ago about her handprints being burnt into the wrought iron fence, the way it was rumored. But in '76, the officials actually had stated that a truck had damaged the fence and that there was quote unquote no evidence of ghosts there. Now that depends on the person looking at it, obviously.
Yeah, Sharon, they come up with something like that.
No, Sharon, you didn't butt in at all. We encourage. I'm guessing you're new. But we encourage interaction because we pull from the chat comments and questions and stuff. So
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, she's probably right. That funerals are expensive back then.
Yeah.
I fully understand why they'd want to get it done and have her into the, I hate to say it like that. It really sounds callous, but they want to get her done, have her in the ground before she really starts decaying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And funerals are expensive now, I mean, comparatively speaking, they were probably just as outrageous then. So, absolutely. I mean, I could see that, especially if they wanted it to be quick. And back then you only had a few good dresses. You had your Sunday dress and maybe your going out dress. But that's really about it. Everything else was just clothes you wore at home to clean the house, go outside, whatever, be in the yard. That's that kind of thing. So that's a good possibility.
And this ball could have been a coming of age thing, for them. I mean, it could have, held it because I know.
Yeah. Well, it's a ballroom, so I'm betting it's just a dance hall type thing.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Could have been, or like I said, or some kind of party.
Story for sure.
Yeah.
Or some kind of party or something like that.
Hell, could have been
actually a few years back. I actually did a podcast on another show about Resurrection Mary and this whole situation, and overall, just the paranormal activity affecting the city of Chicago. It was a 3-part series that I did on another show. One of the things I realized with Resurrection Mary and all the stuff and all the tragedy in the history of Chicago that's gone on there, you got to think about it like this, right? Think about all the people that died in the fires.
Oh, yeah.
The Chicago
Great
fires.
Chicago
there were
fire.
a couple.
Yeah.
You heard about the one that happened in that theater? Where
Which one?
everyone got trapped in the theater and just mad people got burned to death.
Well, tell us about it.
Hundreds of people.
Tell us about it.
I mean, I didn't do research on it. It was just me trying to remember that story.
Oh.
But there was this one incident back, I think it was late 1800s where, fire codes back then, everything was made of wood. And it was this play, where back then, everyone gathered for plays. So you had hundreds of people show up.
Oh, yeah.
Families.
Yeah,
and
be
this
like going to
fire
a movie
broke
now.
out, and nothing was up to code. Like all the doors got locked, everyone got locked in, and just like everyone died.
Yeah,
like hundreds of people. Like there were like piles of them, right? And that's just one example. The Great Chicago Fire. There was that one serial killer who was like killing all these people in his building. Remember that one, Tex?
Oh wow! Hey, I found your fire. I found your fire. It was December 30th, 1903. A fire broke out in the Iroquois Theater in Chicago, killing 602 people.
602 people.
That's an awful lot of people,
including hundreds of children and their mothers who came to see Eddie Foy in the holiday matinee. The incident was the worst single building fire in American history and resulted in safety precautions such as outward opening doors and exit signs in theaters.
So now Eddie Foy, you said they went to see Eddie Foy, right?
Yeah.
Did he die in the fire too? I don't think he did.
Well, let's see. Let's see. What is this? That's the Iroquois. Okay, catastrophic fire. 600. Oh, there was a Brooklyn theater fire too in 1876 that claimed 278 lives. Let's see. I'm looking for
Eddie Foy.
Eddie Foy was the headliner.
I don't
because
see
wouldn't that be something if he survived?
Yeah, that's what I was sitting there thinking. That's pretty messed up that he would have surprised or gotten out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without anybody else. But yeah, he lived to February of 1928. If it's the same guy.
So, okay. So here's what happened. Okay, it had a capacity of 1,600 people with 3 audience levels. The main floor, known as the orchestra or parquet, had approximately 700 seats on the same level as the foyer and grand stair hall. The second level, the dress circle or first balcony, had more than 400 seats. The third level, the gallery, had about 500. There were 4 boxes on the first level and 2 on the level above. The theater only had one entrance, a broad stairway that led from the foyer to the balcony level was also used to reach the stairs to the gallery level. Theater designers claimed that this allowed patrons to see and be seen regardless of the price of their seats. However, the common stairway ignored Chicago fire ordinances that required separate stairways and exits for each balcony. The design proved disastrous. People exiting the gallery encountered a crowd leaving the balcony level, and people descending from the upper levels met the orchestra level patrons in the foyer. The backstage areas were unusually large. Dressing rooms were on 5 levels, and an elevator was available to transport actors down to the stage level.
Yeah.
The fire gallery was also uncommonly large. After the fire, the Iroquois Theater was reopened as Haydn Beeman's Music Hall in September 1904. In October 1905, it was rechristened the Colonial Theater. It remained active until it was demolished in 1925.
It was bad, man. They said when they finally got into the theater and like found the bodies, a lot of the bodies were like all smushed up against the doors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was just like a mass of people, and then like the people up against the doors were all crushed. And most of them had died of like smoke inhalation. But it was the fact that they were all smushed together, like on top of each other, like beyond like trampled. It was just like a compact mass of just humans and body parts. And they all just
they couldn't get back and
right.
Yeah.
Spread out.
See, now check this out. See, this is corruption at its best, folks. Despite being billed as an absolutely fireproof.
Well, they said the same thing about the Titanic, you know.
Yeah. Being unsinkable.
Unsinkable.
Numerous deficiencies in fire readiness were apparent in the theater building. An editor of Fireproof magazine toured the Iroquois during construction and noted the absence of an intake or stage draft, the exposed reinforcement of the presence of wood trim on everything, and the inadequate provision of exits. Chicago Fire Department Captain Patrick Jennings performed an unofficial tour of the theater days before the opening and noted that there were no sprinklers, alarms, telephones, or water connections. The captain and the theater's fireman, William Sellers, discussed the deficiencies. Sellers would not report the matter directly to the fire chief, concerned that he would be dismissed by the syndicate that owned the theater. When Captain Jennings reported the matter to his commanding officer, Battalion Chief John J. Hannon, he was told that nothing could be done as the theater already had a fireman. The on-site firefighting equipment consisted of 6 Kill fire extinguishers. It was a form of dry foam chemical, and it was also used for chimney fires. The mostly sodium bicarbonate user was instructed to forcibly hurl 3 pound. It consisted of a 2-inch by 24-inch tube of tin, filled with about 3 pounds of white powder, mostly sodium bicarbonate. The user was instructed to get this. The user was instructed to forcibly hurl the contents of the tube at the base of the fire. Oh my God. The fire began high above the stage, so kill fire, when thrown, fell to the ground useful.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was a malfunctioning spotlight that set the fire to start with. Yeah. And Eddie Foy is actually being revered as an actual hero of it because he kept everybody calm till the last possible second. You know how he got out? Crawled through a sewer to get out.
Wow.
I don't know how he got to a sewer but there were others that not all of them died. Some people got out. So
no, they some of them did get out because there was an estimated 2,100 to 2,200 people attending this thing.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah. Well, you got to think about Chicago anyway. You got to think about the mafia first and foremost. You know, the old time gangsters were already hanging out there. They were doing all kinds of stuff up there. Do you not think they were doing drive-bys? Do you not think that they were doing all kinds of stuff like that? I mean, they were doing away with people in the street.
Yeah.
So when you talk about Resurrection Mary, I mean, it's very possible. I mean, because as we know, stray bullets are stray bullets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could definitely harm other people besides who they're aiming at in the first place, especially then.
Yeah.
Also, you have to consider that Chicago, the city itself, was built on top of like this really bad Indian massacre site.
Yes, that is true too.
I believe from like the War of 1812, it was a fortress before Illinois was, annexed. Right? It was this fort, and they had like this Revolutionary War, because Revolutionary War had just ended. 1812 is coming around. I don't remember. I forget the details again. This was years ago that I did a topic on this, so I forget a lot. But yeah, Chicago originally was a fort when it was all wilderness there. And this guy working for the American government did not get along with the native locals at all. Mm-hmm. Like, he was a real jerk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But it was at a time when the natives could have really messed him up. So they decided to mess him up. So he tried to evacuate him and all the families out of that fort. And they had another tribe that was friendly with them, acting as their escorts. But then the local Native Americans, the other tribe, were so angry with them that they just wound up slaughtering the lot of them, like women and children and other Native Americans.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And apparently, allegedly, there were accounts of cannibalism. And this was the literal spot where Chicago was built. As a matter of fact, they were still finding bones from that massacre in Chicago Park.
Uh-huh.
So
I'm wondering, though, that with all that tragedy, negativity, all of that bad mojo, and then they're building things on top of it, and then it's constantly something is happening there negatively all the way throughout history. As far back as Chicago goes, it's all negative. There's a few positive things. There's parts of Chicago that are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of negative things that go on in Chicago with crime and all that other kind of stuff. So I'm wondering if that is just feeding the spiritual or the spirits that they're seeing. Is it feeding that? I mean, could it be? Thank you, Tennessee Ridge Runner. Could it be feeding other things too?
Yeah.
That we don't necessarily want to feed.
Very well, it could be. So what were your notes? You were talking earlier, talking about Resurrection Mary. You had some notes on her too.
I was looking for them. They're not in this notebook. I'd have to go back and find it because, like I said, I had it on her, and I was talking about her. But
you just teased me along, didn't you?
I did. I did because I thought I had it, and I don't. But it was just like she just pops up everywhere in that one area, and it's like there's so many different. Besides the cemetery, there are so many different areas. I always wondered if it was places that she used to frequent. I didn't know because it's not only coming from the ballroom, it's other places,
Right.
So I'm wondering if it's just that or is it again misidentification of the actual spirit they're dealing with? Could it be something else or someone else?
Yeah, it's kind of tough to say. I mean, because once again, we're talking about all that activity just from what we just talked about. We knew about Resurrection Mary. There could be 50 different women out of that cemetery that are in that same situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it though, because we were talking about the mafia activity, stray bullets. We're talking about serial killers. We're talking all kinds of things that were happening, and still, well, they're still happening. Let's just put it like it is. It's still happening, and I just wonder if maybe if we're not dealing with just one Mary, maybe there's multiple different women that we're dealing with that could be just wandering around trying to figure it out. Or are we dealing with maybe residual haunting when we're talking about Mary? Maybe it's just that she does the same thing over and over again from just the residual energy that is left there.
Yep.
And maybe that's what we're seeing.
You mentioned serial killers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which you shouldn't have done with me on the show.
Oh,
but H.H. Holmes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Big
1891 to 1894.
Big one.
Yeah. Chicago.
Yep.
Took place right around the same time. At the same time, honestly.
Yeah.
That the World's Fair, where they introduced electricity, where they electrocuted the elephant to prove that they. I mean, I don't know why you had to do that, but they electrocuted and killed an elephant to prove the electricity. But he was using that World's Fair to pick victims.
Right.
The murder house was right there.
Yeah.
In Chicago, right next to that. So you got a lot of stuff going on.
Well,
he confessed to killing 27 people.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering if that's all he confessed to, and that there's a lot more that he's just not saying.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I wholeheartedly believe that because he built a freaking murder house. It was designed to get rid of bodies. It was designed to kill people in certain ways, and for him to watch them die. That's what So, and then he, of course, when he got ran out of Chicago, he ended up building a second murder house down here in Fort Worth. And then we ran him out of town, not because of murders, because of check fraud. Yeah.
Welcome, Sharon. Welcome to the Booze Club.
Awesome. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
Boo.
That's what we did each Randy got. Yeah, Randy's blurry.
By the way, in response to Werewolf, when he mentioned that Randy, you're blurry, my response to that is because Randy is actually secretly a Bigfoot.
Yes, I'm trying to.
And his Bigfoot nature is coming through because Bigfoot, what people don't realize is Bigfoot's actually a shapeshifter, and by day he has a human form, And for the longest time, we haven't been able to identify who that human form is. But then all of a sudden, our friend Randy here suddenly starts going a bit blurry.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
Suspiciously like Bigfoot.
There it is.
Suspiciously like Bigfoot.
Well, coming to Randy's defense, he was having problems with his webcam, and it looks like it's going off again.
Amy's like, what if he is a Bigfoot? That's why he's blurry.
I know. We just need to red circle him, and then, you know what? Yeah. There'd be no denying it then.
That's why he wears the tinfoil hat. He's got to keep that Bigfoot nature from coming out. He's got to keep it in line, you know. Keep
that right.
That's what it is.
We can't have him changing into a Bigfoot live in front of everyone. That would just be awkward.
Yeah.
You know, what happens when you come back from pretty much 2 weeks of not even touching your computer? Yes, that was me. And you come back and one of your monitors on your dual monitor system has gone completely Tango uniform. And for you people who've ever been in the military or know phonetic alphabet, you know what that means. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you're sitting there, you look at it, it's like, okay, well, I got one. And then your daughter says, oh, I got this curved one at work. We're going to get you this curved one that's on sale at Costco. Okay, cool. I got it set up. I got my dual thing. This freaking webcam fell and hit the deck, and it has not quite gotten in focus ever since. I thought we had it there at the end of Truth or Tinfoil on Sunday, and I go to fire it up today. I'm looking at it like, oh, here we go again.
It's just time to go. Just go buy a new one.
Don't say that. This thing has been with me for like 4 years. So we're
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's time. It's time.
Do not talk ill of the cam. Okay. Shh.
Well, anyway, what I wanted to, I believe it is the Skyway Bridge, the one about, I was talking in Florida, and I want to say that, and I'm not sure, I can't remember exactly. It's been many years since I've been down there, but there was a bridge down there that went from Tampa to St. Pete that was hit by a boat. And of course, it knocked over, and there's a lot of cars that went into water. A lot of people lost their lives that day. And actually, even this day, they still have half that road out there. They use it as a fishing pier. It's strange enough. It's very odd. But yeah, you can go out there and actually park on this little part of the bridge hanging out there. And they say that at the bottom of where the bridge used to go up, you know, is gone. But on the new one, they built it right next to it. But at the bottom of that, you could pick up a hitchhiker. And then as soon as you hit the top, supposedly where the boat had hit the other, you know, bridge.
Yep.
Then she would disappear.
Yeah. I got some of those.
She would just ride up and then she would just disappear.
There was also a rumor where you talk about where they parked the fish. Now, this, like I said, there's the blurbs on this one were literally small. I mean, nothing like the three that I looked at. So I was like, okay, let me do some more research into this because I knew you wanted to do it too. But the little bits I was reading, there is another part that people that are fishing on that actually hear voices.
Yes.
As they're sitting there fishing.
Yes. Yeah, I wish I could remember the name. I don't know if it's the Skyway or the Sunshine Bridge or, gosh, it's been many years.
I figure it out now, just out of spite, because you know, quite frankly, we're at an area of time where you know we just got to think about things as we go along, and it's
you know, Donnie Cho, meme of the week.
So, Mr. Cho,
tell us about
it. Before you stand up and show your Daisy Dukes as Amy requested, please.
I'm not wearing Daisy Dukes. I don't even own a pair of Daisy Dukes.
She says you're going to.
I ain't that kind of dude. I say funny things, but I don't wear funny clothes like that. I'm a lot more,
Daisy
not even a kilt.
I'm not. I'm not a peacocker. I make people laugh with my words, not with my. There's some people who do that. They'll wear ridiculous clothes just because they think it's funny. But I'm like, that's so lazy. Because you're just looking funny. Me, I do it with your words. You said I pierce the soul. My words pierce
you do it with your words. You said you might want to rethink this.
I don't have to put on. I don't have to wear a clown outfit, dance around. My words.
Like I said, you might want to rethink this approach.
My words.
All right.
Anyway,
But
speaking
you
of
got something
words,
special for us.
I don't have a picture today. Today is special. I actually prepared words in musical form called a song. And I created a song specifically for tonight's topic. And we're going to play it, and you're going to enjoy it.
Okay.
All right, ready?
We're ready.
Here we go.
Ghosts and highways, highways and ghosts. Those ghostly figures will scare you the most when you're driving down Route 66. But a shadowy bee in your eyes are fixed. Don't stop the car and keep on going. Those ghosts can get you without you knowing. Ghosts and highways, highways and ghosts. Those ghostly figures will scare you the most on the highway. Something not alive. Are you sure it's not a cryptid? That's crazy. You'll know Bigfoot can't drive. Get out here, ghosts. We are doing things my way. Brandi, and Tex talking ghosts on the highway.
Lord have mercy on us all.
And remember, folks, Bigfoot can't drive.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
ridiculous, Bigfoot driving.
I know.
Who would even suggest such a thing?
Hey,
I know.
I heard an account of Bigfoot stealing a John Deere tractor one time.
Like
No,
actually
you
getting in the
did
seat
not.
and driving it off?
Yes.
That was
Really
you.
drove it
somebody
off?
took a picture.
What
Okay.
did they do? Leave it running?
I don't know. All I know is
Did they-
Bigfoot stole a John Deere tractor.
Did they ever find a tractor again, or did the tractor disappear with the Bigfoot? That's what I need to know
Do
now.
not know all the details. All I know
Hey.
is Bigfoot stole a John
Hey,
Deere tractor.
Donnie, there's another song.
He's pleading the fifth, is what he's doing.
There's another song. Bigfoot stole a John
Mon-
Deere.
Yeah.
There it is.
I've never driven a tractor before. I mean, obviously, look at me. Clearly, I've never driven a tractor before. Are those things like
That
manual
sounds awful
transmission?
racist.
Like
You don't
well,
shit.
just look at me.
Not like that.
No, it's because I'm too pretty. It's not because I'm too Asian. Anyway, are those things like stick shift, like manual transmission?
Kind of,
Or
sort of.
are they like automatic where it's just forward and back?
It depends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Because if
depends
it
on
was
how much
manual
money you have.
transmission and
The old
Bigfoot was
one-
working to stick shift, that would be a lot more impressive.
The old ones were standard, manual stick shift. But yeah, they came out with automatics
Hmm.
in the 80s, if I'm not mistaken.
I have no earthly idea. All I ever had was the sticks. But once again, they're not your normal stick shift either, though.
No, they're not.
Put it
And
in gear and go that speed. That's what you do.
Yeah.
You don't just first, second, third,
Mhm.
fourth, or anything.
no.
So in this store, now I'm real curious. So did Bigfoot like run along a guy who was driving a tractor, like throw him off and then get into the seat, or did Bigfoot like sneak into a guy's garage?
You know
and
what? I
then-
think we can make up our own story.
Why not?
Whatever
Everybody
we
else
want it
does.
to be.
Oh,
we could
okay.
sing
Is that
about
is that where we're going? Okay.
Yeah, we can sing about it. Bigfoot stole a John
So okay,
Deere.
what about this? If while Bigfoot was stealing this tractor, what was Dogman doing at this time?
I don't know, probably watching.
Sitting
Shaking his
fun.
over
head.
on the other side. And
Yeah.
John Deere Green.
No, Dogman was off in the distance watching Bigfoot with his mouth open, and he was like, "That crazy son of a bitch actually did it."
Yeah, right? Right? How do you do that? How do you do that?
Okay.
All right, guys.
Anyway, let's
Like,
get
hey,
back
I
on
know
the
that
rails. here.
Get
Yeah, I
on the
believe it,
rails,
too.
everyone. Choo choo.
Dogman was looking at Bigfoot all angry. He was like, "Huh, show off."
There goes Donnie.
Okay. Yeah.
He keeps trying to derail every time. All right,
Well-
Randy, got another one for us? Another
Yes.
little
Oh yeah.
story?
Well, I'm gonna go on out to the Route 666. Okay.
Yeah. Who would
Because this
name a
was-
road that?
it
Just
was
ask 'em.
actually U.S. Route 666, Utah, New Mexico, and into Arizona. Okay. Well, I don't know if it hit Arizona or not, but officially it goes from New Mexico up through Utah. So it's nicknamed. I'll give you a guess. What's its nickname?
Satan Highway.
The Devil's
Highway to
Highway.
hell.
Devil's
The
Highway.
Devil's Highway.
Devil's
Highway to
Highway
hell.
and
Highway to hell.
Highway to
Highway
hell.
to Hell.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so it got a name change to Route 491 in 2003. How many years did it take you to figure out we don't need a road 666? Okay, but it took up till 2003. Okay, the official recommendation for the name change from Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah state departments of transportation stated that the road was the site of many accidents, and 666 carries a stigma of being the mark of the beast. So the travelers avoided the route. The travelers avoided the route, yeah, because of the 666 and the stuff that went on behind it. Now, you talk about people there, we're talking about hellhounds. They're talking about actual hellhounds chasing cars, okay, along this highway. Lost
state is this again?
time. This is goes from New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah is what is the
Oh,
people
yeah.
that actually had access to it.
I know a couple
The
of
way I
people who
understood
actually
it,
had.
it hit some Arizona too, but
Oh, there we go. Who came up with that?
I'll give you one guess.
Was it Tex?
Uh-huh.
It's yeah, no. It could be only one of two people and they're wearing glasses.
Yeah.
It wasn't me. I was looking straight.
Yeah,
if that
you
happened
was
to me, I
talking to
would have
me.
been like this. I was watching Randy the whole time.
Do
It
you
wasn't
not
me.
hear that evil laugh? Do you not hear it? Tex is
Yeah.
laughing.
Hmm.
He's got the little giggles. You can hear him just,
Yeah.
just laughing back there.
I feel like 666 is such an intentional name to give a highway. I mean, like,
It
what
is.
about 665? You never hear about
It was
Highway
probably already
665. It was already taken? Famous Highway 665?
Probably.
I don't think there were any highways into sixes. I think someone just randomly
I don't think there was
decided,
any
hey,
highways
this
that were-
highway, let's call it 666.
I don't think there was any U.S. highways anywhere that were technically, more than 400 series anyway at that point.
Yeah.
But somebody named it that.
Why would they
So,
skip straight to 666? That seems oddly intentional, you know?
Yeah. Well, just a little side story. There is a little town, probably about 35 miles from here. They don't have regular miles per hour signs up there. They'll say
Okay.
like 26 miles per hour. It'll say like 38 miles per hour.
It's not like an even like 5 or 10. That's weird.
yeah.
No, and they do that
Yeah.
so it gets people's attention to look and go, oh my gosh, okay. So this is what the speed limit is. Instead of everybody's just like they'll see a speed limit sign and just blow past it. They won't even pay attention. But when you see a speed limit sign that says like 26 miles per hour, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Would
Very
y'all like
specific.
to hear? Would y'all like to hear about the whole numbering of how it got 666? And
Oh, Tex, you have the answer of how it got 666?
I would love to know how it got
I'm kinda
666
curious now.
because that's very
It just seems so intentional. I'm like,
yeah.
on May 31st, 2003, the American Association of State Highway and Transportation officials approved a new number for the remaining segments of US 666 in Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, at the request of state transportation officials. The route became US 491, a spur of US 191. This is the story of why it was numbered 666. The numbering plan was devised by a joint board on interstate highway, had several components. East-west roads were given even numbers, north-south or odd numbers. Transcontinental and main east-west roads were assigned 2-digit numbers ending in 0. While the main north-south routes carried numbers ending in 1, 3-digit numbers were assigned to alternate route branches of the main codes.
I think I'm starting to see where this is going. Okay.
For the history of US 666, the New Mexico's designations are of interest. September 1925 issue of New Mexico Highway Journal listed routes that had been identified during the final conference in August of the Joint Board on Interstate. And these routes are listed in the article, were not yet numbered or arranged in their final configuration. The article added that another New Mexico route that had been added during the region was held in Denver, subteam number 5. This goes on and on and on. So, yeah.
I don't even know why they would give it that number to begin with. I mean, even in hotels, we'll never have a 13th floor. In any type of building, we won't have a 13th floor. It's the superstition, the stigma. I mean, you would think that number itself would say, no, that's too, that's too crazy.
I have a different theory. So my theory is the reason why it was named 666 is because you know how it's like all these government bureaucrats that name all these roads. It's like the state road division or whatever. I'm imagining in that one bureaucrat state road division office, there was this one guy showed up to work every day like a normal guy, suit and tie, but everyone knew him as Devil Worshipper Dan. And everyone was like, yeah, that guy just worships devils all day, or he's got a pentagram on his coffee mug. He's just the Devil Worshipper guy, right? Everyone gives him a wide berth at the office. And one day it was his turn to name a road. He was like, let's name it 666. He starts hissing at all his coworkers. And everyone's like, damn, that Devil Worshipper Dan, he's a weird guy.
Hissing like a basilisk.
Yeah. That's my theory, at least.
Listen to this. Listen to this. A former mob informer hanging out with the Witness Protection Program. Oh, no, that's a movie. Never mind. Forget it.
That's a movie.
And he was like, don't touch my stapler.
We thought we were having a good story there. Yeah.
Oh, it sounded really good. And I'm like, oh, never mind. That's a plot to a movie.
Forget it.
Hey, can I tell you guys the Korean version of the classic hitchhiker story?
Absolutely.
Sure.
Okay. I'm not saying this as like a true story and that like there were like experiences. This is more like I'd say folklore, but it's basically the Asian version of the same like Resurrection Mary story, where it's a guy like on a road, picks up an attractive female hitchhiker. Same situation, right? She's like all mysterious, like young and pretty. She tells him the house that she's going to, right? Same thing. But this guy takes her to like an Asian style home, right? You know, like back in the day, those Asian style homes, they had those paper doors. So this girl runs into her home, this Asian style home, doesn't pay the fare. So the guy runs after her looking for his fare money. He sees like this kind of door right here. It's all closed. It's the middle of the night. And he sees one light behind the door. So he pokes a hole in the paper to take a look. He sees nothing but red, which is weird because the door is white and the background, you know, he could just see it's the night. But then when he looks in the hole, it's just nothing but red. He gets all weirded out, leaves, goes to a cafe, starts talking to the people, tells the people about what he encountered. And everyone's like, oh man, there was a girl from that home that died, right? Like Resurrection Mary. But in this version of the story, they said that her ghost would be seen walking up and down the road, and she had glowing red eyes.
Oh, okay.
So when he was looking in that hole in the door, he was looking directly into her eyes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's like Resurrection Mary, except she's like evil, like way more evil.
Yeah.
Evil.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, Randy,
it's all them,
back to
all them agents are evil.
Yeah.
Back to 666 Highway.
What about it?
Continue.
Riley Ron's like beautiful lady. I think he's got a crush.
Well, like I was saying, it was there was stuff with the missing time, stuff like that, you know, that happened along with the Hellhounds. There was an encounter guy that took off across there in 2017, actually, after the time frame of the actual change of road numbers, and he took off through and was chased off the road by a phantom car. It followed behind him, it backed off, and it run up on him, and he'd get out of the way, it'd go around him, slow down, you know, just like somebody being a you-know-what out on most of our highways around here in Texas, okay?
Right.
But when he got up to the next curve, the crest of the hill, he went to go up behind it. When he crested the hill, it was gone. Completely disappeared. And anybody knows about desert highways, cars just don't disappear. Okay. Even if they were 500 yards ahead of you and got over a hill or made a turn, you're going to see something, either dust, dirt, whatever they kicked up, whatever light they have. They don't just disappear. But he said there was no sign of this thing. And when he got all the way into Nevada, he settled down for the night. He couldn't sleep. He called his girlfriend and said, "This is what happened." She said, "Well, you're on the old Route 666. He's like, "What?" He didn't even know it.
There's a lot of those weird encounter stories, like out in those roads, like New Mexico and Colorado, like Nevada, like those really remote roads you hear about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times they go through like reservation territories. And I actually listened
part of this
to
was Navajo. So
there's stories that I've heard of people driving through those areas where they're being chased not by hellhounds, but by like, I mean, I hate to say it, like human shapeshifters. Like they were human.
Yeah.
They looked like Native Americans, but their features were all like monstrous. And
once again,
they were like
we're looking at Wendigo type things,
running after the car, like keeping up with it and stuff. And
yeah,
these were like literal, like actual accounts I heard from people that I actually knew. I was like, damn, I ain't driving through there alone at night like that.
Nope, not one bit. Somebody gonna be with me.
No.
We'll send Tex through there by himself. Let him do it.
Tex will drive through there, of course. I ain't doing it. No.
Yeah. Let's give it to Mikey. He eats anything.
No. I'll drive through those roads like at late at night if I'm driving like a tank. I'll do it then. Like if a dogman or a hellhound tries to come up with
I won't even do it then.
Tank.
Do you think that tank's gonna stop them sucker or apparition to come up in there? Yeah, no, ain't happening. I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, this weekend I've got to drive a stretch of. It's not necessarily a highway, but it's a 2-lane road, and I've got to be on this thing for like no, but I've got to be on this stretch for like 2 hours. Part of this drive is 2 hours, and this thing I don't know what it is. It freaks me out. I feel like I don't know. It's just like my hair and my arms stand up. It's I get what I call chicken skin or goosebumps or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just the one stretch. It's just like anything can pop out. You're either looking for a Bigfoot, dogman, or perhaps your occasional, I don't know, ghost. It's just that type of place, and then it's like you're riding and you might see a house here and a house there, and then there's nothing, and then there's a cemetery out in the middle of nowhere, and you're like, come on, could this get any creepier?
It's an old cemetery. It's almost always old, isn't it?
Yes. I think there's a sign that said 1887 or something, on the side of the little railing thing they have there, and I was like, nope, no, thank you, that's enough. It's just like I don't want to be on this road. It's like, what if you get in an accident? How long will it be? When somebody sees you, or if they find you.
There was a write up for the Route 66, the old Route 66 in the Missouri part of it. There was a write up on a stretch of that. So that was another one I was looking at as well.
And that's right up there. That's right up there. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a lot out there. There really is. And I know Tex, he was talking about, he had one from here in Texas too that he wanted to talk about as well.
I do. And what's really cool about this one is that we know somebody that has witnessed this phenomenon on this road. Monica has had this experience, and she's going to tell her experience on her show tomorrow night.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow night? Oh, goody. Yep. So maybe we don't tell her experience and tell other stuff.
Right.
Get mad at you.
So it's called Bragg. It's called Bragg Road. It's also called Ghost Road Scenic Drive, Hardin County Park, 8-mile drive. It is an 8-mile road that is literally named Ghost Road Scenic Drive.
Yep.
Wow.
They're talking about embracing it, huh?
Yeah. Here's another shot at the sign. It is a it's in the big thicket down here in Texas.
Yeah.
Which is notorious for waspy critters. Okay. They do not have a good attitude down here at all. Okay. They're ornery, they're waspy. So yeah.
What does waspy mean? Are they like insectoids?
You know how it don't take much to piss a wasp off to sting you?
I was going to say a little bit feral.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, is that like a southern, is that a Texas term? I wasn't familiar with that term.
Waspy?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, no, but
country term maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I would call it. I would call it that.
It's a Texism. How's that go?
Okay. A Texism.
They're ornery. How's that? What'd you say? They're ornery. Ornery.
Ornery. Yes.
Ornery.
Yeah. Bad tempered.
There you go. That works.
Yes.
Now there is a Texas historical marker right next to this road sign that you can go read. It's the Big Thicket National Reserve. It's the history about that. So I know I cannot read this right now.
It's a little small.
Why not? You got glasses on.
All right, so the Big Thicket, fine. You asked for it.
Never mind. Don't do it. Don't do it.
He's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Hey, all right. See, don't play.
All right, known as Mr. Big Thicket. That's all I see.
It's fine. I get it. So she's had an encounter on this particular stretch of road.
Now here's a picture from along the route. Okay. That's not creepy at all.
No, not one bit.
Not one
By
bit.
the way, Patty, thank you. I'm not the only one who never heard of that word. Okay, I was feeling like a bit of a dummy at first.
It goes through Saratoga, Texas, and there's a famous phenomenon called the Saratoga Lights, and Monica has witnessed this, and it's she told me her encounter, and it's a very cool encounter. It's very strange. It's a lot like what we had up in Brown Springs Cemetery, Brandi, with the orb thing. So, and here's an actual photo of the Saratoga Lights.
Damn.
Kind of like the spook light thing in Joplin, Missouri. Yeah.
Is that what oh, okay. Hey, where's this road again in Texas exactly?
Saratoga.
Where's that in Texas?
Down southeast.
Yeah,
southeast
Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
Oh.
So,
have you driven that road before or a few times?
No, I have not.
Oh man, but you're in Texas.
No.
You might as well go
It
there.
is now.
Not yet, but I'm going to now.
Next time I'm down in that area, I may go.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I'm gonna not. If I get down there, I'm not only gonna drive it. I'm gonna walk it. So not the whole way.
Oh man, see, Texas always got to take it to the next level, doesn't he? He's always got to take it one step further.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well,
he's got. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. You know, I've talked about my run-in on the road, which has kind of like spawned all kinds of other things to happen. But it's the story of when I'm going to work. It's very early in the morning. There's no traffic on the road. I'm coming up to town. I'm making a turn. There's a street light there, and I see like a person, not necessarily, I can see kind of like a dark outline of a person coming up to the street light. So I look at the road to make sure I don't hit them or run off the road. And I look back and that person is gone. Absolutely gone. They were walking towards my car, up to the street light to my car, and then they were gone. But then right after that, I started smelling like a burnt oil, like oil that has been just used, and it just really was burning. It's hard to explain, but it stuck in my car for probably a quarter mile, and then it dissipated. But it was very strange to get that smell associated with what I had seen. And we've talked about my troubles before, and well, I wouldn't even call troubles, but the hauntings that surround me and are attached. But this was by far one of the weirdest things that I've had happen on the road. You know, there was another time where I'm going down the same stretch of road before I go to turn, and every once in a while you see those lights that come off these like these farmhouses that shine all night. They're off the light poles out there, the electrical poles. And so I'm going down, and I just for some reason decided to look in my rearview mirror, and then I see a shadow pop out from the seat and pop back into the seat. But there was nothing there. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I mean, these things are there, but the history of my town is very, very strange. There was a tornado back in the 1920s that took out 10 city blocks. It killed like 100 people, within that time span, which wasn't very long at all. And, we have our own Black Widow that is in our history. We had our own red light district here because of the railway. It's very assorted, the history in this town, which you wouldn't think because it's not very big, especially the downtown area. But there's ghosts all over, and I can imagine in any small town, any big city, including like Chicago or,
Hey, if you're living in America, there's probably going to be a ghost within a 5-10 mile radius of you.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. I absolutely, unless you're living off grid, miles and miles and miles.
Unless you're like the middle of the woods in like Montana or something, or you're like deep in Alaska. But then you got other stuff to worry about.
Then you got, and then you have other stuff to worry about. Absolutely.
Like one of the most haunted highways in Maryland and in the East Coast is actually literally 5 minutes from where I live. It is creepy as hell to like drive through there. It's very twisty and windy. And it goes up like this mountain, and it's heavily wooded, but there's also a decent amount of traffic because it's in between like several major towns and highways. So it's not desolate, but it's also very treacherous and a lot of old area there. Literally
probably
5 minutes from where I live.
And
it looks real creepy at night because there's no street lights. And I don't drive there at night very often, but when I do, I make sure I blast that K-pop to, keep all the negative spirits away.
Exactly. You start singing, bring all the joy into the vehicle. Yes.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Because, it's bad juju.
Right. In that road that I was talking about that I have to travel this weekend, Donnie, it's pretty much the same thing. You
crank up the music a little bit more, right? You try to get more into zone,
Actually, what I do is I turn the music off and roll down the window to see if I hear anything.
Oh, you're trying to creep yourself even more.
No, I want to hear it if it's out there.
No, man, I try to do the opposite. I'm like, la, 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 la.
I want to hear the stuff. I want to hear the stuff.
You're watching for the shadows.
Yeah. I'm watching for the shadows. But that is something that I do. You can ask Tex. I mean, he's got numerous face prints of my face on his back window, and I have it pressed against it as we're driving because I'm trying to see what's out there. But I'm one of those. I'm always constantly looking and seeing what's in, the woods, what you can see.
So what I'm hearing now is that you're a window licker.
Yep.
No, I am not.
What it sounds like. I mean,
she will stick her head out the window, though. She will stick her head out the window.
You ever had one of those puppies that always stuck their nose on the window?
Yeah.
Okay,
like
there you go. I don't lick the window. I just put my nose on it.
2 handprints and a face print.
Just leave snot. That's right. I'm sorry, just leave snot on.
And then every once in a while, Tex thinks it's funny and hits a good little pothole, and then hit my head on the window. Do that a time or two. He's always got to do that because I'm like, oh,
that's always it's always fun until you put your head through the window and he's got to replace it later.
He don't hit that hard. He's not trying to, he's not trying to injure me.
hey, werewolf. Hey, we're talking about that riding on the short bus thing. Trust me, those two are riding and driving it the whole way. Okay, just to let you know that.
And okay, I'll give you that one right.
That's all right.
Because if it's dumb, Tex and I are going to do it for sure.
We have a good time doing whatever we do, don't we, Brent?
Exactly.
Yeah, we do. We do.
That's the only way to do it.
Yeah.
So, Tex, would you really walk that road like by yourself, or would you have like someone with you?
No, absolutely. I was, and in fact, I was sitting here thinking about it. Next time we're down there in that area, if we can make it out that road, what I'd like to do is have somebody drop me off, like in the middle or wherever. If we can find out where the most activity takes place, is drop me off and drive the road and then come back.
Well, I guess you would have to talk to Monica about that one.
Yeah.
She's the one that lives closest to there. Well, you should get Monica to do it.
No, she's just been down there. She just doesn't mean she lives closer to it.
Oh.
So, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, talking about down around Houston area.
Yeah, San Antonio, that whole area. I absolutely do. I don't have a problem doing that at all. Not at all.
We just need to find it.
How far is that? How far away from you is that place? Just out of curiosity.
Probably about 3 or 4 hours.
Oh,
well, I was going to ask, how far is it away from where we were?
In San Antonio or where?
Sure.
Well, might as well say San Antonio.
Hey man, you should plan out like a weekend and like go there and like film it for content. Have some other people there.
That's what I would be doing.
Yeah. If it's not that far away from you, you plan like a weekend around it.
It is that far away. We're talking about 4 or 5 hours. That's what really.
Yeah, that's why you plan a weekend around it. You don't go like
Well, I mean, when we're already there.
Yeah.
It just makes sense to go.
Especially if you get like people together and then like you get planned a content out.
Okay,
it's a weekend over.
It's 4 hours and 32 minutes away.
Oh, that was quite far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's north of Beaumont. It's not even near San Antonio.
Well, we've got 2 years to think about it because the next time that I'll be down in that area will be 2 years. So we won't be down there next year because they will not be having a conference next year. So it'll be the year after.
Right.
What was the name of it?
We're talking
the road.
It is in the Big Thicket National Preserve, not far from Honey Island.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Now
so tell us about Honey Island.
What's Honey Island?
The Honey Island swamp monster.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! You got to tell us about that now.
Well, I don't know all the details. I just know that it's basically a Bigfoot creature.
Yeah.
Out in the Honey Island swamp.
Yeah, call it Texas's version of the skunk ape.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's look this up real quick.
Man, it sounded like you and Randy and like maybe Jason or somebody should go plan a trip, go down there, check out places on the same weekend.
It is it's also known as the Cajun Sasquatch. It's an ape-like humanoid creature, similar in descriptions to Bigfoot, purported to inhabit the Honey Island swamp. Honey Island. This Honey Island swamp's actually in Louisiana, but you're right there in East Texas. You're not far from it.
So. No, I mean you're within probably where that's at. Oh, let's see. So for there's Orange. I'm looking for the Sabine River right there. You're talking about max of an hour and a half from the Louisiana border.
So you're
either way, that whole area is swampy. So
yeah, you're looking at something that is, according to the descriptions, about 7 feet tall, bipedal humanoid covered with gray hair, having yellow or red eyes and accompanied by a putrid odor.
Yeah.
Other local names for the creature include the Louisiana Wookiee and the Thing. They do have alleged footprint cast of it. So yeah, it's the footprints usually have 4 toes, not the traditional 5. So, yep.
Huh.
Tough to say. I mean, because the rumors down there, that's a legendary thing down there. You go into that area. I mean, you only have to go into the big thicket, honestly, to get the stories of it. Beaumont has stories of it himself, and it's 50 miles south.
Now get this. The first claimed sighting was in 1963 by Harlan Ford, a retired air traffic controller who had taken up wildlife photography. After his death in 1980, a realist Super 8 film showing the creature was found among his belongings. In 1974, Ford and his friend Billy Mills claimed to have found unusual footprints in the area, as well as the body of a wild boar whose throat had been gashed or torn out. Today, the creature is still purported to inhabit the swamp and the bayous along the Pearl River. Local lore tells of a train crash that occurred near the swamp in the early 20th century, in which a traveling circus lost chimpanzees who adapted to the environment and offer a potential explanation for the creature's origin.
Sounds like the tiger story.
Yeah.
Yep. So there you go.
Wow.
That whole area down there, though, I mean, it's the big thicket area is ripe with all sorts of legend and lore in that area. Problem is, you got to go in February, March time frame, or you got to go in late September, October time frame. Because if you go any other time, you're going to get carried away by skeeters.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
It is Naked and Afraid ain't got nothing. They need to do a Naked and Afraid with people shoving them into the big thicket. See how they handle that.
Yeah.
The Amazon's got nothing on that place. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, honestly, Falk, Arkansas isn't any better.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, it's all pretty much the same kind of, territory. I mean, correct.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'll tell you a story. And I don't think I've ever told this one before. One of my older cousins, in fact, is the same cousin that jumped down off the damn roof with a gorilla mask on. Right.
Oh, good Lord.
And you got to remember they owned, golly, was it 412 acres there in Texarkana, and the back half of it got into the swamps, right? Well, he went squirrel hunting out there, got turned around, and didn't make it out by dark, and was stuck in that damn place back in the swamp for 3 days before he got out.
Wow. Man, that's amazing just to get out of there. I mean, because one day you got to go into survival mode because you don't know what you can eat back there sometimes, especially if you ain't used to that stuff and you don't know what you're looking for.
But he got turned around and back there for
let's sitting off the side going, let's see if he makes
3 days where they found him. I can't remember which it was.
Yeah.
It sounded like a story that I had heard that somebody had gotten turned around and started going down this road, and next thing you know, they couldn't even turn around. It got that thick back there. It was one lane and they couldn't turn around. And next thing you know, they started experiencing weird things running around out there and hearing noises and growls and all kinds of stuff. And the only thing that they could do was back up out of there. And they had to back up for a couple miles. Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I got news for you. My truck has reverse, and I don't mind using it.
That's right.
And it's got a backup camera. I can see.
Yeah, that too. I can back up better using my mirrors than I can my backup camera.
Oh, you and me both. But either way,
I don't trust it. I don't trust the backup cameras. I've always got to look.
The three of us anyway are of that age group where we didn't, that's what we grew up backing up.
We didn't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we grew up in that era where you put your hand on the seat and turn around and look.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. And quite frankly, if we didn't do that when we were taking our driver's test, the old guy that gave us our driver's license, Milton Brown.
Yeah.
He literally, if you didn't put your arm on that and look over your shoulder to check going backwards when you're pulling out of parallel parking, you automatically getting deducted right there on the spot.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anywho.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess that's why sometimes I don't like exploring those back roads, is because of that.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm by myself. Because I do have a bad habit of taking a left turn when I should have went right just because I wanted to. I do that.
You were guided that way.
I was. And, just to see what's down there, I guess it's just the natural explorer in us that want to go do that. Say, hey, I've never been down that road. Let's go down that road. Let's see what's there.
Did you see what Sharon said? My older brother once put on my grandmother's white wig and ran into the bedroom acting like an ape. Scared the heck out of me.
It would probably
Lord have mercy.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. Our brothers and sisters, I'm sure, would like to give you a jump scare. I'm sure.
Oh, well, yeah. That's part of being a brother or sister.
Yep.
Yeah. In my family, it was my dad.
Oh, yeah.
My dad liked to scare us kids quite a bit. I think he really
it's always
enjoyed
fun. It's fun as a granddad to do that, when you got a little 4 or 5 or 6 year old grandkid running around like chicken with their head cut off, and you sit there, grab them, and say, "I'm gonna get you," and run behind them like that, listen to them giggle and take off.
Right.
I ain't going after him. I'm too old and slow for that.
Right. And we have to talk about this again about my dad always used to tell us kids, get in the house, it's getting dark out there, the booger man's going to get you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Didn't say the boogeyman, but the booger man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish he was still alive so I could ask him, what did you exactly mean by that?
Yeah.
Right.
You see something we need to talk about?
Yeah, I would like to know exactly what you were talking about then.
Yeah.
Because as kids, we were running all over the woods.
Oh, yeah. Every bit of it.
My dad would take us out there in the middle of nowhere and we'd camp. And then we're out there all running around and I'm like, and then you say the booger man? Explain yourself, okay? Explain yourself.
I had a friend of my mom's back. This is when I was in elementary school. And I had a thing about cobras. I loved cobras, right? And she did ceramics. Well, she did a ceramic cobra, and it was all about the movie. I used to love that movie. It's called.
Yeah.
And the guy turned into a snake, turned into a cobra, and he had blue eyes, right? So I wanted a cobra with blue eyes. So she did this cobra and painted it and had blue eyes. And it stood about, a couple of feet tall, right? It was reared up like this. And I can remember my sister on multiple occasions. I would set it outside my door and it scared the hell out of her.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. And then Henry says, this is funny. Henry says, I put a bear mount in my sister's room right by the light switch.
Yeah. That's kind of crap out of pull right there.
Riley Ron says,
again,
what's
I
a
did
booger?
shoot my sister in the chin with a BB gun a couple times.
Booger is what some people call a Bigfoot.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he has that, and Henry answered for him, said Bigfoot in Southern speak.
Exactly. And you're like, what? Well, anyway.
Uderson says his nephew had a pasture party. He snuck up on him in a ghillie suit, and he ended up having to fix 2 chairs.
I'm not going to say that I haven't done that.
Yeah. I didn't have a ghillie suit, but
yeah, I put on a ghillie suit and scared a couple people. You just crawl up on them and they don't even know you're there.
Yep. Never even think about it either.
Right. Anyway, this hour and a half has kind of flew by, everybody.
Yep.
I would like to personally thank Mr. Donnie Cho for his brand new song.
You're welcome.
And we're going to get him to send it to us so we can put it up on social media so you all can hear it.
Yes, so you can tune in anytime. So we'll get it put out there.
And I would like to extend a heartfelt thanks, guys, to ChatGPT and AI. God bless you, AI, for making this goodness
There
possible.
you go. Yeah, but those are your lyrics, Bigfoot can't drive. I mean,
AI makes dreams happen, guys. It makes dreams happen.
It's iconic. Bigfoot can't drive. So I'll always remember that now.
Oh yeah.
If I remember anything from that song, it's gonna be Bigfoot can't drive.
Oh, Patty, it wasn't a meme. It wasn't a meme this week. It was a song with accompanying video.
And there's no way any insurance company would insure him either.
No, not even close.
So he's not going to get his license. No, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So.
Well, anyway, I just want to remind everybody tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central, where we are having the Monster Quest producer Doug Highcheck on our channel. That is at 8 p.m. Central tomorrow night. And then on Friday at 7 p.m. Central, we have Alaskan Bigfoot with Daniel Becker. So I guess it's Monster Week here. It's just Monster Week. That's what it is. It's Monster Week. And then of course, don't miss out on Paranormal Paul. He's on 7 p.m. Saturday evenings. And then Mr. Donnie Cho Says Stuff is on at 8:30 p.m. Central. What do you have this week, Donnie?
Well, please, guys, I think my finest episode was this past weekend. I did Bigfoot Erotica. So if you like a well-researched deep dive into the world of erotic fiction pertaining to Bigfoot, please check out my last episode. This weekend, I will be doing an episode on the Church of Dogman. We'll make a return.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
You're getting a sermon going. Gotcha.
I'm going to have a sermon going. I'm going to have some praise music. We're going to have gospel music. There's going to be time of prayer, a time of reflection. I'm going to give
Will Jason be there melting? Will Jason be there melting?
The time I open my heart to Dogman, I open my heart to him.
Will Jason be there melting though?
I don't know. I don't know where Jason.
His head exploding? Probably, yeah.
Probably. Yeah, his head is exploding. So anyway, again, thank you, Donnie. So everybody tune into that for the Church of Dogman on Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. Central on Donnie Cho Says Stuff. On Sunday, check us out. Me and Randy will have another episode, or Truth or Tinfoil, where, we wear these a lot.
Not as much the last time, but
this last one had me stumped pretty much the whole show, because that was pretty crazy. But tune in this Sunday at 5 p.m. Central, and we'll have another episode available for you. And Tex, what do we got going on next Monday night?
Well, next Monday night, I don't know. I can't remember.
I love it.
What is the date? Is it the 5th?
It'll be the 28th.
I do not know. I'd have to look. May not have anything planned. But tomorrow, also at noon, don't forget Bigfoot Michigan Rob, brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob.
That's right.
And tomorrow night at 10, you have Our Paranormal World with Monica Rollins.
Right.
So, and then Friday,
we got the lineup, people. You know the lineup. And if you don't know, give us a holler. We'll tell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We got shows every night of the week for anything you want to hear. If it's weird,
well,
we got it.
Let's not forget Randy's show.
What Randy's show?
You didn't plug your show.
She did.
I sure did.
Oh, you did? I thought you were plugging your show.
I even put on my tinfoil hat, Donnie.
I
wasn't paying attention. Sorry.
Wow.
Donnie, we love you.
Just remember, it's always in the description of the show as well. All the dates and times. They have been subject to change, and some of them are in some are hit and miss, but they're all down there, so you can find them if you go searching. So,
Donnie's show was about 45 minutes into the show.
That's right.
Oh,
Donnie's song. Sorry, Donnie's song was about 45 minutes.
Yeah, yes,
right about 45,
it was almost right on the money. It was almost 45 minutes on the dot in the show. So. Yeah, so there's that song, and we'll post it again.
Yep.
We'll get it here on Blondes and Boos so you can see it. Donnie Cho will post it on his site, and then we'll get it on Truth or Tinfoil. Why not?
By the way, I literally made that show or made that song like 10 minutes before the show. Literally, 10 minutes
it was perfect. It was perfect because Bigfoot can't drive. I'm just saying.
Saying thanks to Joe Two Pops, Chris, Tennessee Ridge Runner for your support, as well as. Welcome to Sharing Sunshine.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. You guys are just great. You're awesome. We love you. So with that, we're going to say goodnight.
And I'm going to hit the button.
Good night.
Hit the button, right?
Hit the button.
Bye.